Assalamu alaikum. Today I'll be bringing you a special review of Deep Sea Adventures, and I will be telling you that why you should play such a teeny tiny game. Now, those who are familiar, Oink Games is the publisher of this, and they have a reputation of making these small tiny box games which are just cute. Now, this is one of their most popular games, and this is a pure push your luck mechanic game. What does it mean by push your luck? That it's up to you that you want to go further and get bigger rewards, or you want to return back and play it safe. So sometimes your luck will reward you by pushing it, and sometimes bad things can happen as well. Now, how this game works is, or the theme of the game is, that you are submariners who are trying to go deep sea diving from your submarine, however that makes sense, to collect some treasure. But the problem is that there is a finite amount of shared oxygen that all of these treasure hunters are using. So the deeper you go, the more treasures you pick, the faster the oxygen will deplete. So it will be up to you to take a decision that whether you want to still go further or go back, and who is going to play chicken and run away while you get to pick up the more costly, more better treasure from the deep sea. Now, the game does come with the setup of these small tokens, so you can set up it in any way you like. If you have a big table, big crowd, expand it more. If you have a confined space, you can make it a smaller space game as well. It comes with these cute meeples, submarine meeples, which have a hand and a face to show which direction they are moving, and that's important because you can only choose one time in your turn that whether you're going forward or backward, and you have to declare it clearly, otherwise you cannot change your direction later on. So how the game starts is that everyone starts from the submarine location, and the submarine itself will have a disk and some oxygen parameters on it to show that how the oxygen is depleting. On each of the turn, let's say there were 3 players, and on each of these their turns, the player will be rolling the dice. Now these dice are special wooden custom dice, very beautiful. The component quality is very nice, which have only 1 to 3 pips on it, so not a regular 6-sided die. So you will be rolling them, and based on their sum, you will be moving your submariner that how far away he will move. And initially, you do want it to move faster and faster so that you can go deeper in the sea and get better treasure. Because as you can see that there are different shapes of these tokens, and that represents the expected value of the treasure that you're going to get. So right now, for example, 5, I will be moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, I will have a decision whether I want to pick this up or I want to move further. The problem is going to be that the more treasure I carry, the more it is going to, or the faster it is going to deplete the oxygen, because it's kind of an exhaustion mechanism also, that you're getting exhausted more by picking up treasure, so you're consuming more oxygen as well. So let's say I decide to pick this up. So every time now when I will move, the oxygen depletes a little bit more because of my this action. Once I pick this up, I will have to place an empty token just as a placeholder, just to show from where I picked it up. At the end of the round, these will be removed, so the treasures will slowly keep coming closer and closer. Similarly, other players will take their turn as well. They will go at different locations and accordingly decide which treasure they want to pick. Let's say this player decides he does not want to pick a low costing, a low value treasure right now, and that's a good decision. Nobody wants to pick up these teeny tiny treasures in the start. But this player, let's say, has reached the second level of treasures, and he does decide that he wants to pick it up. Now he will be picking it up, but he is not allowed to see what's coming underneath. And that's also part of Again, you're trying your luck because not all these values are equal. So for example, under the square ones, there are some tries which are value 4, which are 6, there are 5, whereas in the smaller ones the value was 2, 3, 1. So in this way, you will never know how much treasure you have collected until you come back. Players will keep on taking their turns, and the oxygen based on the number of times you have moved plus the amount of treasure all the players have, the oxygen meter slowly starts getting depleted. Now there will come a time where you will see and try to calculate that no, I have now only enough rounds left to go back and I need to turn back. So for example, let's say the players are here. What will happen is now is where the real game starts. That should I turn back? I This player might be thinking I'm very close to the really valuable treasures. Should I press my luck? But it's going to take him most time to go back as well. Whereas this player might even think of a different strategy altogether. That I have very less treasures, but instead of trying to collect more, I'm going to run away. And why that's important is because as soon as these players return, even on returning, you're going to deplete your oxygen on taking turns. But when you return, the thing that's going to happen is that's going to put pressure on the last player because now the farther he's away, the more risky it is for him to actually reach back. And if he does not reach back, all the oxygen goes to zero while he is still trying to make it back, while other two players were back in the submarine. Then at that time, all the treasure, let's say he had collected all this treasure, all of this treasure is going to go to waste. He will sink. So the submariners will help him pull him out, but with zero treasure. And that's where the fun of this game is. Now this treasure will start going to the end of the pile. So the end of the pile starts getting more and more interested as well. That if you go here, you not only get the original treasure which was there, but you also get a lot more which was dropped by other treasure hunters. And again, that's another mechanism. So slowly this will move whatever treasure others had collected. Let's say this player had collected these treasure, the second player had collected this treasure. So now the map has started to evolve and shift to a smaller map. So now reaching the end point is even more lucrative. And then you will be trying to go again and collect treasure and then coming back. And in this way, your rounds will go. So it's a very simple mechanism. You just roll and then go to that particular place, pick up that treasure, and then decide whether you are going to still go ahead or move back. Because some player might even move back, and while moving back they will pick up as much treasure as they can, because the more treasure they pick up, the faster the oxygen depletes. So they are trying to push the pressure or the risk on the player who is farthest down the road, and that creates a kind of a dynamic which is pure push your luck and only found in games like this. Now there are other games which are similar, like Clank, which adds this push your luck mechanism of treasure hunting plus some deck building mechanic. But this one distills just that push your luck treasure hunting skill down to its core. It comes in a small pack, so if you're looking for something very compact, and you love these kind of push your luck mechanisms, then this is a great game. But otherwise, if you are not, I'll be pretty honest, if you don't like luck in your games, if you don't have a bigger group to play with, because this game is more fun the more players you add to it, because then the dynamic of the game actually changes. Some players are pushing their luck, some players are staying behind. If you're playing with a low player count like 2 players, then this is not an ideal game, because uh, you will have just a binary decision at that time. You have a 50-50 chance. Oh, this person is going back, I'll go back. So there is no risk or reward in it. Both players are going to nearly do the same thing by looking at each other. But when you have more players, this game supports 6 players by default from the box. So when you have 6 players, then the game dynamics are going to change a lot, because 4 players might be still trying to push ahead, 2 players might be trying to go back. Then you are left with 4 players going back and 2 players moving ahead, and then those 2 players will be under supreme pressure that whether they should go back or go forward and collect this high treasure amount. So once all the players have collected this, they will be at the end railing their total points by looking at what's underneath. Oh, in this case, I did reach up till the end and I collected 15 plus 13, whereas the other player only collected 6 plus 9. So I easily won because I pushed my luck. So if you like that kind of mechanism of pushing your luck, then this is an easy recommendation. But I will be telling you that only play this with higher player count, because then you will get the fun. Otherwise, you can pass on it, and there are other games which are going to give you better value for your money, even though it's a cheaper game anyway. That's it for me. Hope it made you understand whether you will be liking this game or not. And so that's it for me. Happy gaming!